So, hello everyone. Today, on behalf of the PrepBee team, we have a mock PI that we brought for you. The candidate is Kshitij Bhargava, and as we proceed with the interview, you will be discovering his profile along with us. So, let's start with you. Let's start. Abhishek, would you like to start?
Yeah, so hi Kshitij, how are you doing?
Good evening. I am good, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening, I'm doing great. So Kshitij, can you run us through your profile very briefly?
So, my name is Kshitij, and I've done my engineering from Manipal Institute of Technology, Karnataka. During that, I was a global volunteer for ISEC in Poland. Apart from that, I also won a national level GK quiz. Meanwhile, after my graduation, I started preparing for UPSC civil services. I consistently came in the top 1 percentile of the country. However, I could not make it into the final list. Thereafter, I started working as an associate in operations team of a travel startup. Now I am preparing for MBA and I want to do MBA to consolidate my knowledge as well as to ensure better efficiency in my work output.
So Kshitij, as you said that you were looking forward to do UPSC at certain stage. So what were the stages did you clear at that point?
So I cleared prelims and I missed the interview list by single digit marks twice.
So you gave mains as well, right? Okay, what was your learning while preparing for UPSC?
So my learnings were twofold majorly. First, on the tangible aspect, I felt when you make any strategic decision, be it your personal life, your business life, or for the society or for any company, it has merits and demerits. There are no rights and wrongs in this world. And a good leader and a good decision maker is the one who can forecast and who can predict the pros and cons of every decision. And on the other hand, the intangible aspects like dedication, integrity, and perseverance. I learned quite a lot on these fronts due to my preparation.
So do you see yourself as a manager or do you see yourself as a leader?
So I think both of the concepts are very overlapping, but eventually I would want to become a leader.
So if you have to highlight two qualities of yourself as a leader, not as a manager, what would that be?
So first is perseverance. I'm sure no decision taken by anyone has any cons and demerits. However, despite these problems, one needs to persevere and one needs to move forward. Apart from that, the second quality would be transparency. I would want to ensure that all the stakeholders involved rightly know everything that there is going on.
Okay. So one follow-up question on this. As you have prepared for 4 years for UPSC and then you're coming for having a work ex in an organization as a travel company, why you see yourself as a right fit for an MBA at this point?
So, from what I understand, a cohort in MBA needs to be diverse to lend unique viewpoints in any case discussion. Given my experience of UPSC civil services, multidisciplinary knowledge, and cross subject knowledge, and the ability to analyze things from multi dimensions, makes me a unique candidate to lend my viewpoint in any MBA case discussion. Apart from that, having a 2 years experience in corporate and especially a startup will also enrich me and my peers in any MBA cohort.
So according to you, only your value addition into the cases will be the standout point for you, particularly doing an MBA. Or is there anything else as well? Because see, there will be a class of mixed batch of both engineers, non-engineers. Somebody can be from even the medical backgrounds as well. But that doesn't make them a right fit to sit into an MBA classroom, especially in top B schools like Ahmedabad or Calcutta or Bangalore.
So, on other fronts, I think a multi-dimensional analysis of any problem statement, as well as the qualitative aspects imbibed by me during this preparation and during my work experience, like hard work and dedication, can help me excel in my career and help me lend weight to the class of any MBA college.
See, Kshitij, if I may pitch in for a moment, you are not telling me why you want to do an MBA. See, the reason that you are giving me the reason that you will fit perfectly in a class, but how does that motivate you to do an MBA? You might fit in n number of other things. And after you answer that question for me properly about why you want to do an MBA and that too right now in this year only. Also tell me why should we take you as a candidate who has prepared for UPSC and has might have loyalty somewhere else.
So when I thought about all the qualities and all my knowledge, and when I felt that what would be the right next step forward, I felt MBA was a natural calling, as given your diverse curriculum and the subjects which are taught particularly interest me. And as a leader and a manager, I see that any strategic decision which is made, it there needs to be a holistic knowledge as well as uh, integration of diverse viewpoints, and that is what interests me, and that is what I have been looking from UPSC as well. Now coming to a second question, sir, when we look around the government and the public and private sector, this is the time when both the sectors are overlapping, be it the state of UP, which is trying to hire consultants from private sector to propel its GDP from approximately 260 million to 1 trillion, or be it the government of India trying to hire consultants to privatize BSNL and try to increase the efficiency of BSNL. This is where the overlap of private sector and public sector comes, sir, and this particularly interests me.
So what you're saying makes sense to some point. What you said that the subjects that we teach in an MBA really interest you. Can you tell me a little bit more about the subjects in particular, which particular subject, and that to which particular college teaches those subjects in a better way than others? Apart from that, what's your long-term vision after an MBA?
So during the term one subject, certain areas of curriculum like macroeconomics, microeconomics, introduction to marketing, as well as the certain basic subjects of human resource interests me. So apart from that, some colleges like IIM Kozhikode have also very particular and niche subjects like social sector, and especially TIS college also. This also interests me. So eventually, after my MBA, I would want to get into consulting, as consulting is one area where I feel I can excel and utilize my multidimensional knowledge, sir. And eventually, sir, in the long run, I do see myself running a social impact consulting firm, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll come back to you, Abhishek, if you like to continue.
Yeah. So let's say if you would have converted your interview list and even eventually been into any of the civil services ranks, let's say in the top 100, so you might got have chance for IAS or IFS. What would have been your choice at that point?
So at that point, I would have taken the Indian Administrative Services. However, as the government of India gives opportunities to IS officers also to pursue higher education after a certain number of years, I would want to pursue MBA later in my life, sir.
Again from India, or would have you would have made a choice to pursue it from abroad?
So I think circumstances during that time and weighing those particular pros and cons would have helped me decide my choice that time.
Okay. So as I'm able to see that there are certain numbers which you have boasted particularly into your CV while doing your experience as an associate. Can you tell me what is something related to the error rate in documentation? What was how you maintained it less than 2%?
So the error rate usually came out when multiple forms were filled by different people, and when forms were passed from one team to another, then certain errors used to come up. I tried helping the digitizing of the process, and only one time things used to happen, one time forms used to get filled, so that there is no repetition, as well as the efficiency and the operations of the entire team and the company game better.
Okay.
So
Satya?
Kshitij, you told me that you want to be a consultant, right?
Yes.
So what type of consultancy are you looking into?
So, given my interests, I think I would like to go into government consultancy initially.
Any particular companies that you know are working in that domain?
So, Samagra is one of the top firms which is working in this domain. So, and I think, so, as far as I know, it comes in your college as well.
Okay. So, do you have any idea about which role it comes for in our college?
My apologies, I don't know.
That's totally understandable. See, I was going through your SOP, and you said you want to work in a pro people, pro planet business management system. Can you tell me about this pro people, pro planet business?
So this pro planet business management comes from sustainable development principles, which seeks to integrate development and environment. Despite the environmental destruction, we still look at environment versus development debate as something antagonistic. We need to integrate these two to ensure that whatever development takes place is inclusive and environmentally viable. There is no point in development if it's a zero sum game and ultimately the entire world collapses due to the greed of certain people. We need to ensure that ESG norms are integrated into every business responsibility reporting standards, which has been mandated by SEBI in recent times.
See, that sounds very good. First of all, let's do an exercise. Can you name me a business that is not pro people and pro planet?
So I think it's a very subjective term, but if I
Mhm.
have to point out, then I think it's oil and natural gas industry, even though it is the backbone of the current economy.
So how is it? It might be pro, not be pro planet, but how is it not pro people? Because it is giving livelihood to millions, and even one could say billions of people. It is creating value for the society as a whole right now. In the long term, it might be true that the value being created might be detrimental in some aspects. But if that industry was not existent right now, humanity as a whole would not be where we are today. We would not be talking over a Zoom meeting. We would not even be having MBAs most likely.
So I think when we talk about any pro people, pro planet business, it need not be evil necessarily. As I said before, there are no right and wrong decisions in this world. No matter what decision we take, there are demerits to it. So a pro people, pro planet business model seeks to integrate these things in a step-by-step manner and not through a knee-jerk reaction. What the COP27 of UNFCCC also indicated is that oil and gas natural industry needs to move towards it through a just and fair transition process rather than a one day difference.
Yeah, but precisely the point being that you cannot claim that any business that exists on earth, any major business, so to say, can be totally called against the people and against the planet. Is that something that you would agree with?
Yes, I think I do agree with it to some extent.
Apart from that, you said that you will not be interested in a growth that is not inclusive, right?
So,
See, that is something that is a very good talking point even in MBAs, but the ground reality and the pattern, the trend that we have seen throughout history is that growth itself is most of the times in large countries, we could say that in large economies, all of the times, growth only comes from the willingness of a few people to work hard. And when for some decades, some people have worked hard and accumulated a lot of wealth, it is after that when that wealth is distributed among the people, that is when inclusive growth happens. But and during that inclusivity period, during the period that they are distributing wealth, the GDP growth rate definitely goes down. So do you not think that growth in itself cannot be inclusive? Because see, the Dunbar number is around 150. And most of the societies are way above the Dunbar number. And if you go to that magnitude of people, there is no way for you to guarantee growth without there being people who will be left out.
so the economic principle which you are talking about, where growth cannot be inclusive, that I can agree with that on paper. However, the philosopher John Rawls gives his theory of justice, who says that the economic inequality is is a result of institutional inequality and it is a result of institutional bias, sir, rather than the hard work of people, so to say. We need to ensure that equal opportunities for everyone is created. Of course, there will be a difference of output and equality of opportunity needs to be ensured rather than equality of outcome, sir, because we all know outcome is generally a result of hard work and individual capabilities.
See, the thing about John Rawls is, and the thing about Rawlsian theory in itself is that it's a very good theory. But is it something that we can see in trends throughout history?
So equality as a concept is very evolving, and
Mhm.
Rawlsian concept of justice has not been implemented in history so far. However, if we cannot achieve the ideal, that does not mean we should not try to move towards the ideal. Small steps, baby steps, one by one, is what makes society inclusive and ensures that the cohesiveness in any society is maintained. So,
But as you
See,
have
I would
already said, yeah. So as you have already said that it is one of the idealistic theories and has not been ever followed till now. How you see the current industries being able to achieve that? Because no matter what, right now, whatever we say, whether in terms of DI hiring or inclusivity in other sense as well, you will not see certain things being more than just a numbers for the business, because what the end needs is just the profit, and how they will be able to achieve the profit they don't care about whether the society's purpose is being served or whether the major motive of starting that even business is being served or not.
so I'm sorry, but I would like to beg for a difference here, sir. I think as per the Economic Survey 2025, the labor force participation of women has increased from approximately 22% in 2011 to more than 37% now, sir. And I don't think every business operates only on profits because of social license to operate, which every business needs. And a shining example of that would be late Shri Ratan Tata, sir.
see. Are you sure you are not a part, you are not a victim of the Tata Group's PR campaign? Because I'm pretty sure the marketing team is doing a really great job.
So I would not know if I were.
Apart from that, you said that the women participation rate has gone up in the labor participation rate of women has gone up. Is that necessarily a good thing? Because see, with economic development, the labor force participation of women in India went down, and that was for a very specific reason. Because they were mothers from the lower strata of the society that had to leave their kids, or either leave their kids in home or hang them on their back and go and do work for a daily wage. That was not a really good, that is not a good thing. Are you sure that this is not happening again? Especially because you're an advocate of the philosophy that believes that right now India is going through a K-shaped trajectory of growth.
So I think a K-shaped trajectory of growth is due to some institutional problems. However, the problem that you mentioned that might have been true when this thing happened after the LPG reforms in 91. However, now due to more information and awareness, I think there is a more distribution of household work and care work, and hence women are able to participate more. Though I cannot deny that the unequal burden of care work still falls on women in India.
Okay. Apart from that, can you tell me what is the multiplier effect in economics?
So as per my understanding, I understand multiplier effect is the effect when in especially in certain sectors like infrastructure, when government or any private sector spends 1 rupee, then it creates a multiplier effect and 5 rupees worth of business is created in the economy. For example, during COVID, when government wanted to boost the economy, it tried to focus on the infrastructure sector, because when the demand got created in the infrastructure sector, then other sectors related to it, like the cement industry, the bricks industry, or the labor industry, they all got stimulated. So,
Okay, and what if this is not something that I believe in, but what if I had to do here and I was telling you that this is just a facade that was put there by economists to justify trickle-down economics. Multiplier effect is just a facade that advocates of trickle-down economics are putting forward.
so Adam Smith's concept of trickle down economics is quite a tricky one, I agree. However, the multiplier effect is what keeps our economy running. That is what creates credit in the economy after savings.
But
So
isn't that? Isn't
Sir,
that
I
what
do
trickle
agree.
down economics also promises?
So trickle down economics promises an invisible hand which leads to gradual equality in the market, which we do not
Mhm.
see today, sir.
But you do not see today because the human lifespan, as Keynes argued, the human lifespan is not long enough for us to see that. The hand works in a very long term.
So, so that may be true, however, we are yet to prove it, sir.
I mean, there are proofs, there are ample amount of proofs for that. South Korea is one of the proofs. Apart from that, Japan, there are a lot of countries that have gone down that path and have given us proof of that specific thing. Especially in South Korea, there are still monopolies, there are still family-run businesses. But compared to North Korea, that country is doing wonders.
So I don't think any country truly follows the trickle down economics now because every
Hmm.
country is a mixed economy. Even South Korea, for that matter, always ensures that some aspects of socialistic growth is ensured, maybe through progressive taxation or social welfare, and that is how any country develops. So North Korea, I believe, sir, I think it's more of a primitive kingdom rather than a country, modern country, sir.
Okay, now I've got you exactly where I wanted you to be. Earlier, you were telling me that Rawlsian economics, Rawlsian theory has not been tested. That is why we cannot deny it. But you can deny trickle-down economics, even though this is also a theory that has not been tested. So why is there this bias among you in your thinking?
So I think the Rawlsian theory of justice has itself been criticized by further economists like Amartya Sen, who advocate for equality of capability and equality of opportunity rather than just equality of resources, like Rawls says. However, this trickle down economics, as we have seen in certain countries in the past, like US, were not adequate, and that is why New Deal's effect by Roosevelt was introduced to ensure that some aspects of socialistic growth is also integrated into all the countries. And in fact, Indian Constitution also says this.
What you've essentially told me is that both the ideologies have had their fair share of criticisms. I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you that Kshitij, as a person who just now told me that Rawlsian theory has not been tested, hence cannot be denied. That same person is now telling me that trickle-down economics can be denied, even though this theory also has not been tested anywhere. And believe me, trickle-down economics has not been tested anywhere.
So my apology if I came out that way, but what I meant to say is trickle down economics has not been tested. However, we cannot deny the any element of truth in it. So,
Okay. Now, I would be moving to my last stream of questions. See, you're an excellent candidate. If I were to compare you to a second year MBA student, your communication skills, your ability to be calm, even when the interviewers are trying to grill you, are way better than most of the candidates. But as we can see, Indian state in itself is more socialist than it is capitalist. And since you are a UPSC candidate, there is still embers of that spirit left in you. When I see at you talk, when I see at you talking about society, about economics, what I feel is that you would make a very good social, civil servant who would work for the people. But would you be able to work for a company, the main motive of which would be profit? Because believe you me, most of the companies are working for profit. I cannot say all of the companies that is because of a truth of mathematics and not because of the truth of the world. I cannot say all for most of the statements that come out of my mouth. So will you be able to work for a company that has to basically generate profit and not work for equality among the people,
Even the Tatas.
even the Tatas?
so as per, I would like to disagree with some people here. I don't think profits are a bad thing necessarily.
I
Profits is
agree.
what drives any economy, any country. And generating profits is a source of virtue in any country and any company. And the profits which are generated are ultimately distributed to the stakeholders and the shareholders, which increases the purchasing power and the standard of living in any country, sir. And given your question, sir, I believe working in any company will be beneficial to me and I can be beneficial to that company because I can ensure its growth, which can be inclusive. However, I will also ensure that the priority of all the stakeholders are given their dues.
So, for example, let's just say you are working for a skincare company. Who are all the stakeholders in that company?
So if I have to do a top-down analysis, the first would be the shareholders and the board of directors. The second would be the employees of the company, and the third would be the consumers of the company who consume the products. And then even I can add the suppliers, the distributors, and the people who are dependent downstream on that company. So,
The government that you're paying taxes to,
yes, sir. Sorry, it is
and the
also
people
stated.
in and the people in general, the
Yes, sir.
population of that country.
Yes, sir.
And is it possible for you to generate value or create value for all of them at once?
So as I would want to repeat myself, sir. I don't think any decision has no demerits. Every decision has its demerits. However, we need to predict them and we need to foresee them so that we can minimize the adverse impacts of any decision, sir.
See, I totally agree with you. Now, I can see two patterns. First of all, you can escape out of situations very well because you have this line that is the truth, that everything has merits and demerits. But it's not that simple. See, you have to prioritize decisions that will be more meritorious in their nature. But it is not this is not on a single axis. There are multiple axes on these. And the prioritization that you have to do many a times requires the decision maker to keep the priorities of the general populace after the priorities of the company that wants to make a profit.
I agree, sir.
Apart from that, in your initial pitch, the way that you were speaking in suggested to both of us, I think, that you are someone who will work for only a company that does not want to make profit. See, if I were to map it down on a piece of paper, you started from the left and now you're at right of center. That is only because we as the interviewers are right of center. If we had been on the left of center or far left, you would have given an interview in that particular way only.
So, I don't know whether I came out that way or not, but I do believe that there needs to be a balance between things, and we need to prioritize the stakeholders because that is ultimate. Those are ultimately whom we are responsible to. So,
Okay. Which city do you live in?
so currently I'm staying in Bangalore.
You're staying in Bangalore. Can you solve a guesstimate for me?
So I've stayed in Bangalore for the last 4 months only, but yes, I can try. Sir.
You are based out of, with apart from Bangalore, you're based out of?
So actually, my parents had a transferable job, so I've changed cities every 2 or 3 years. However, the last place I lived in for quite a while was Lucknow.
You lived in Lucknow.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you a guesstimate of Lucknow.
Okay, sir.
Can you estimate the number of people that go into the Alambagh bus station daily? Go in, not come out.
Can I take a minute?
Sure.
Uh, can I start, sir?
Yeah, sure.
So, I would guess, I would approximate that Lucknow's population is approximately 10 lakh because it is close to a million plus city, sir. Then I would like to categorize the population as per the income criteria uh, because of the hypothesis that usually middle class and lower class people take buses.
So just a minor correction, the city of Lucknow will have a population of around 41 lakhs.
41 lakhs. My apologies, sir. Then taking 41 lakhs, sir, given the income distribution of India, if the bottom 80% of the population takes buses yearly, then it would be approximately uh, 32 lakhs. And then among 32 lakhs per year, uh, if we take the ridership to be 4 times per year on an average, if they go in and out of the city, only in and out of Lucknow, then 32. 1 lakh 50. So it's approximately. So it would be approximately 1,50,000 per year. Uh, so then per day it would be approximately 400 people going in. So
How did you jump from that 2 or 3 lakh number to 400?
okay. So as I said, approximately 80% of the
I
population will,
understand. 32 lakhs then?
and then 4 rides per year if they're going out
So 32
on an
into 4
average.
will be almost 1 crores
Yes, sir.
30.
It will be
Yeah,
128, I think.
120.
128 lakhs.
Okay. And then that I will divide by the number of days per year.
128 by 365. Okay. I think that will come around 40,000 or something.
So 1,28,000 divided by 365 would be, sir. Can I use a calculator, sir?
Go ahead.
Sure.
So, so 1,28,000 divided by 365 would be approximately 350.6.
And just a second. 128,
One
128 lakh, right?
so 1,28,000.
1,28,000. Why?
1 crore it would be. We are telling
Yeah,
128 lakhs.
Okay,
128 lakhs.
so
Yeah, it's coming out to be 35,000.
Yeah.
35,000. Sorry, not
Yeah.
350.
Now,
35,000.
how did you come from 35,000 to 400?
So calculation mistakes. My apologies.
But
That was
still
a very
think
big
about this
calculation
guess.
mistake.
But still think about this guesstimate because you are telling a number of 35,000 people going inside a bus stand every day, that particularly also into a city of Lucknow. Isn't that a very huge number?
True. 30, so
Uh,
that would equal to around more than 1,100 per hour.
Yeah, and that too, if we count in the terms of number of buses, that would be somewhere, if we divide it by 70, also almost 800, 900, sorry, 500, 600 buses needs to be there. Okay, so I know it has been a bit in this interview for you, but still, few questions before wrapping this up. Let's say you don't convert any of the B schools this year. And I guess MBA has been a plan B for you mostly, which I am able to get it from this interview. What is your next plan B?
Sir, I think I would like to continue working and then apply for MBA next year again, sir. I have given CAT twice, so and I think I've scored a decent percentile for me to try again, sir, after gaining more experience. Sir. And then I think if executive MBA also would be a good option for me, sir.
So you are very determined that you want to do an MBA,
Yes, sir.
whether it's executive next year, no matter what.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Apart from that, see, if you have 2 minutes, if you don't mind me asking, are all of your UPSC attempts over?
No,
You
sir.
might be left with you might be left with 2 or 3 attempts, right?
Yes, sir. I have.
So can you convince me that after an MBA or during an MBA, let's suppose you have good communication skills, you get an internship very early, okay? Or you get the final placements very early. Every MBA college has a system where the people who get placed early are then volunteering to help the other students get placed. They are sort of helping the placement committee. In the second year also, the people who get placed early are into events and other things. I feel that if you get placed early, then you will use this as something that you already have, and then you will again go and start preparing for UPSC.
So the entire reason I came out of the UPSC journey was from the principle that a good leader should know when to take risks, when to keep moving forward, but when to cut costs and move on, sir. And so I would not go for the civil services again because I think my learning curve was very steep. However, after one point, there were certain factors which are out of my hand, so to speak, sir. And that is why I did not give UPSC again, and I do not plan to give it again, sir. Maybe it would be some qualitative aspects, or maybe it would be my handwriting. I don't know, sir, but I
But
think
after
that
your
part.
placements, you will have ample time to work on all of those. And quite frankly, if I was in your place, I would do the same thing. I would work on UPSC once again,
So
especially
I
because
think,
you know, especially because you know things around the globe. You are one of the people who could crack UPSC. And if I was in your place, I would do the same thing. But convince me, why would you not do the same thing?
True.
Because your special reason for leaving UPSC was to cut costs. After getting selected, there is no cost that you are putting in.
And
so I
also,
think
just to add, once you get any of the good placements, you will have money at your back. So that will motivate you much more to aspire for the initial dream which you had, which is of being an IS officer. Maybe sometimes people back out from their dreams or aims, particularly, especially UPSC, because they financial costing and everything comes into play.
So I think I do come from India's one of a privileged backgrounds. Finance was not a problem, or it was not one of the reasons I left UPSC. So I think that chapter for me was closed due to the stopping of my learning curve, as well as now seeing that there are other and better things in life which I can pursue. And so my aim was not to be an IS officer, so to speak. My aim was to be in any position where I can make a difference at a large scale. And I think that can equally be achieved with an equal efficiency through an MBA. Sir.
Okay. What is your biggest regret in life apart from UPSC, please?
So I don't think that would be a regret for me. That is what made me what I am today. Sir. Mhm.
And no personal regrets.
So I don't know whether I would count it as a regret or not, but I think maybe I should have prepared for UPSC after taking placements from college rather than dropping out of the placements.
Are you sure that 3 years down after your MBA, you won't be sitting for another job role when you're 33? And when they ask you what's your biggest regret, you tell them that I didn't start preparing for UPSC after my MBA.
No, sir, not at all, sir. I think I will be quite happy with this.
Means we got your sense very early that you will prepare again for UPSC eventually 2 or 3 years down the line.
No, sir, I
So
think that chapter has been closed in my life.
मुझे नहीं लग रहा है यार मुझे अभी भी वो ऐसा फीलिंग आ रहा है कि it is like your that ex which you still want to go back to.
True.
Yeah, I think one of the major reasons I could not clear mains repeatedly was my handwriting, and I tried, but I don't think handwriting changes after some point, sir. And there's nothing I can do about it. I did try, sir, but there's nothing I could do about my handwriting.
Okay, final question. You want to make value, you want to change value. What if I gave you a little bit of truth? Suppose you go into a very esteemed bank. The name starts with J and ends with C in the risk profile.
So,
Okay. Your job will be to take financial statements of HNIs, drop it into an app, a computer app, get the results that will come 3 hours later, take those results and pass it down to the next guy. That is all your job will be. You will have a very handsome package, but essentially your job will be that. And you will get a client facing role 20 years down the line. Even the guy who will be working 2 levels above you will still not have a client facing role. What will you do in that situation? Because believe me, there is no impact that you will be creating, and you will be shit scared that a few years down the line, AI will replace your job and kill your job totally.
so I think when life gives you lemons, you should make lemonade. Even though that would not be my first preference, as I said, I would want to get into consulting. However, if I do get into such job roles, I would try to make the best out of it, take the most learnings out of it, and then move on to some other job roles through lateral placements and
So you
hirings.
are saying that you will not join JP Morgan.
So if I do not get into consulting, then definitely I will. I will try to take all the learnings and then use those learnings and leverage them for a better job role eventually.
What learnings will you get from dropping a file into an app?
So I think that MBA will teach me with proper jargon. So
Okay, and finally, the lemonade that you will make, will it be UPSC?
No, sir, definitely
Definitely,
not.
definitely it will be UPSC.
Sir.
I am sure that I will see Kshitij's name eventually in the UPSC merit list in next coming years. I am having that gut feeling.
No,
Th-
sir, I think that's over for me, sir.
Then it might be the case that we might be the consultants who will go to 20 years down the line. He's sitting on the other side, some secretary or something. Okay, so the interview is over officially. If you have
Thank you,
any
sir.
other questions, then you can ask us. Then we'll give you feedback.
Um, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
See, you haven't practiced estimates at all.
I haven't.
Yeah, so see, the way that you went started with the population, that was good, but you forgot three or four things. Alambag is not the only bus station in Lucknow. There are other bus stations. It's just the biggest, it's just the main one. Apart from that, this one you could have solved from a supply, like a supply, there's a supply side and there's a demand side. You could have solved from the supply side too, that the area is this much per hour. I think you could just assume that one passenger is there for 20, 30 minutes, and then you can distribute it into hours and the number of passengers during peak hours and then during non-peak hours. Even in the way that you went, first of all, you didn't have a pen and paper with you.
I did not, sir.
Yeah, so apart from that, the calculation mistakes you were making were also obvious. We could see them. Apart from that, even in that way, you didn't have a proper structure. You divided them based on income, but even in lower income, not everyone will travel via bus. Only when the train is not available, then they will go via a bus because trains are much more cheaper.
So I don't know how to solve guesstimates, sir.
Yeah, so you could have done that. If you would have solved it correctly, I would have given you a case interview. I would have given you a case, consulting case, because you wanted to go into consulting. But I got a sense that even consulting case would be difficult right now because, quite frankly, I don't think you started preparing for consulting interviews. Apart from that, see, I still get that vibe from you, that socialistic vibe, so to say. Not to say that it's a bad thing. It's something that I don't agree with. But when you say this, that I asked you for a company that is not pro people, pro planet, you named me a sector. And even then, even in that, you backtracked, right? It was a good thing, but the thing was that you started with such a left bent of thinking that when you went right, it seemed like you are just adjusting yourself for the sake of us. It
Okay.
seemed somewhat dishonest. Apart from that, your communication skills are good. You are able to handle stress. You have a sorted story. I don't think they will reject you for that 4 year gap. But again, you'll have to work on that part where you make us feel like you will again go into UPSC.
Okay.
So, Abhishek, would you like to?
So, starting from how you introduced and everything. So, see, if I see you as a candidate, you don't have anything to not select you. Okay? There is nothing that we will not select you as a candidate. You are a good fit for any B school, no matter what, because if I see the competition behind, you are way ahead in terms of that. But still don't be overconfident about that. Okay. But certain things which you need to keep in mind, particularly, which I think Satya would also agree, that you can't circle around everything related to the UPSC thing or something related to the socialistic theories which have been you might have studied particularly for your UPSC preparation. Because things, when they particularly work in the what we say in the corporate world, they are way different. So you have to be very mindful about what you are trying to speak. You can't always back them every day because they are just the bookish theories which are not into the right principles, which even in the practice in the daily lives. Certain points which you need to work down on, which I felt that you can look into. So guesstimate.
Abhishek, just 1 second, 1 second. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
audible, Ayush.
So, hey Kshitij, this is Ayush. So, I just joined this meeting particularly to appreciate your efforts. I was watching whole of this PI as an audience. So, I must say that one of the finest PI I have ever seen. Eventually, for the person who is not well prepared yet, you will obviously prepare better. You will eventually perform a lot better from this. But considering this is the first PI, I can't just stop myself to join this call and appreciate your efforts. And similar appreciation for Abhishek and Satya as well. I haven't seen this type of panel. Okay, so yeah, great, Kshitij, great going. Now Abhishek and Satya can continue with their feedback.
No, no, I also agree that I have even said him that he is a perfect candidate to convert any of the B schools, whether it's even Ahmedabad. Okay. I don't know
Mhm.
whether you will get a call on this percentile or not. I hope so, you get, but I'm not sure about that. But still, moving ahead, which I said, things you need to keep in mind is particularly that you have to work on your guesstimates because if you get any of the blackies call, there will be certain guesstimate questions. Satya gave you a very simple guesstimate. I was thinking of a guesstimate related to, so I will say it was something related to the iPhones which are being sold right now in the market, and that will be related to the amount of costing each individual is paying, and then there was certain related to the electricity components which I was trying to figure out that what will be the billing which you have to pay at the end of each month. So it would have been a way or not, I will not say a difficult one, but a moderate guesstimate. So think about certain guesstimates. Today we have not asked you very large amount of HR questions or something which we say as a behavioral questions. You will eventually learn those questions and you will get time to work on those things as well. But good job, okay?
Thank you.
And this is just first interview. There are way ahead, and as I see, most of the interviews will be lined up from February or or in the first or second week of March. So you have ample time right now to work on your skills, and hope to see you in in one of the best colleges right now.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Even in the interview, I told you that your way of speaking, your clarity, the way you keep up with current affairs, they are much better than even a second year MBA candidate. So I would agree with Ayush and Abhishek that there are not a lot of things stopping you, and that is why your feedback is in a very niche segment. If it was any other candidate, we would have given them feedback like prepare your HR answers, be more fluent, look into the camera, be confident, keep up with news, all of these. But all of the, let's say, layer one preparation points are sorted with you. It's only in the deeper things that might not piss off everyone. It's only certain specific people who will not like that. And why maximize your chance? Why reduce your chances of selection by that? It's just that minor feedback. Apart from you, yeah, you're an excellent candidate, and with mock interviews and all, this bit will also go. So, yeah.
Thank
And just one thing to highlight, never choose any camp into any interview, whether
Mhm.
it's a political camp or whether it's any ideological camp, anything. Because you don't know who the panelist is and which camp he's of. Maybe he could be a right wing, maybe he could be a left wing. It can go anywhere for you. Okay, so never choose any camp, never boast your ideology into a 40 minutes or 50 minutes interview because they are just coming up to judge you as a candidate, not your ideology.
you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, it
So,
was
yeah,
really great interacting with you, Kshitij.
Same here, sir.
Uh, we hope to see you soon into some of the good campuses.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
okay. See you if you come to IFT. Do let me know.
Yes, sir, definitely. Thank you, sir.